Welcome to this week's edition of the Dakota Angler 2-Minute Fishing Report. Well, the one word that people really aren't using when they're fishing right now is mobility, because guess what? We have not been very mobile, to say the least, this past week with all the heavy snow that we've gotten here in eastern South Dakota. Anywhere from 10 to 16, 17, even 18 inches of snow has made traveling on the lakes quite difficult. In some areas, they have cleared out some roads and made it a little bit easier, but if you don't have, a truck with a four-wheel drive or tracks or a snowmobile, getting around the lake is pretty difficult, to say the least. It's not impossible, and hopefully with the warmer weather, that's settled a little bit of the snow. Now, obviously, we're getting more snow up across the north as we speak. But again, we'll see how all this shakes out. But ice fishing season is far from over, to say the least. But this past week has been very tough as far as fishing is concerned, because the winds, the roads being closed, and access is being closed made it tough for people to get out. Some of the lakes that produced walleyes this past week up in the northeast included Bitter, Wabae, Antelope, a few at Indian Springs during the evening hours, Reed, Dry Lake by Clark, Opitz, Alice, a few being caught there, Minnewaska, as well as Long Lake, which is north of Henry. Down the southeastern part of the state, the lakes that produce walleyes included Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Thompson, Sinai, Whitewood, and then also Ponset and 81 Ponds. Now, what have guys been doing to catch the walleyes? Again, I can't say anything this past week has really been the trick. It's whatever lakes were able to fish and wherever you ended up, because of the snow, it kept a lot of people off their favorite spots. But a lot of buckshot spoons and a lot of glow jigs, to say the least, because of the lower light conditions and the lower oxygen levels in some of these lakes. As far as the perch bite is concerned, that kind of held its own, but again, a function of how many people were able to get out. Lakes that produce perch included Big Stone, Marsh. Now, the big problem with Marsh is the number of people that are out there, to say the least. Then also Dry Lake by Clark, Dry Lake by Willow. A few being caught at Thompson, Wabae, and as well as Bitter and Stink. The crappie bite is still there somewhat, again, mainly at Thompson, but also Minnewaska and Ponson's producing a few crappie there as well. What's the key to, for the bite there? Tungsten jigs. It doesn't really matter what kind of tungsten jig it is. But again, with the lower light conditions, especially the low oxygen levels, the glow jig seems to be doing a little bit better. And then also the drop chain. And then tipped it with a waxworm or a maggot. In this week's edition of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to talk about pike fishing. We haven't talked about pike fishing in an awfully long time, but now is the time to really start targeting that type of fish. And quite honestly, there's not as many people that go out and target pike as what there used to be. I mean, I grew up in southwest Minnesota, and I can remember eating pike all the time. That was, it's a great tasting fish. You're not going to find a whiter fillet around here than with pike. A lot of people just don't like fighting around the bones, but there's ways to fillet it to get the bones out. So this time of year, and as you know, and I shouldn't even say this time of year, all year long, if you've been out there in open water fishing or ice fishing, you know that our lakes are populated heavily right now with pike. And so it's a perfect time to take your family out there pike fishing. And the way that you can do that is by using tip-ups. Now, there's a number of different tip-ups out there. You can go to the standard variety, the rectangular type of tip-up with the flag that goes up as soon as the pike or the fish take the bait. Or you can also use such as, different types of tip-ups like the Finicky Fooler or the iFish Pro or even the Arctic Warrior that will allow you to use your rod and reel to fight the fish. With the traditional tip-ups like the rectangular one, or even the Frable tip-ups like the round tip-ups here, or the thermal tip-ups, or the clam ones that you see right back here. Again, what you do there is when you set the hook, you got to go hand over hand, lifting up the line. With the iFish Pros or the Finicky Foolers, Arctic Warriors, you can use your rod and reel to fight the fish. So again, it's a great way to target those species of fish, because you can spread those tip-ups all around your area. And so again, it's a lot of fun for family members. Plus, you can use bait. We have plenty of sucker chubs here on hand, as well as smelt. So now this is the time of the year to really start targeting those trophy types of pike. You're going to see some really big pike because they're putting on the feed bag right now. So again, if you're looking to target pike, come on by, pick up the tip-ups, and also pick up some lights to fish at night. That's another fun way of doing it. So again, there's great ways to enjoy some family fun time out on the ice right now. Even though the walleyes and perch may not cooperate as well, the pike definitely will, and you'll have a lot of fun catching those pike. And now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report, please send it to me. Send it to Todd@DakotaAngler.com or post it to our Facebook wall. And before we end this week's report, I'd ask a little favor of you. If you watch this report week in and week out on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. But at least give it a good old thumbs up. We would appreciate it. And also, if you watch it on Facebook, give it a like. The more likes and the more thumbs up we get, the more visibility we get. So, again, we ask for your cooperation, and we thank you for your cooperation and your support throughout the upcoming year and throughout the past year as well. And, folks, if you have any questions about what you heard on the report or about what we carry, check us out on the web at DakotaAngler.com or give us a call at 605-336-9132. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report. For Dakota Angler, I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next week. And again, thanks for watching. Stay healthy, and folks, stay safe.